west of Chicago, there is a small, secluded cemetery known as Bachelors Grove, and it is one of the most haunted places in the United States. Author Brian K. Morris brings you a collection of writings that will help you navigate this ghostly graveyard, if you dare. The Haunting Scripts of Bachelors Grove is available now on Amazon.com. Get your copy today.
Seconds.
And good evening, everyone. Welcome to Clever Title Pending for Tuesday, March 23rd, 2021. I'm excited about tonight. I've got three old friends of mine come by that I'm excited to have on the show. We hope you're excited too. If you know anyone who dabbles in filmmaking or has a small studio of their own, tell them to get their backsides over here because we've got some cool stuff for them. All right. So anyway, we've got the gentleman from MOONLIGht Films appearing with us tonight. They've got their own YouTube channel that please go there and subscribe to it and check out all their great horror films that they've got on there and other films too, including a Lifetime type film. Anyway, there's a little something for everybody over there. And we hope that you enjoy the next couple hours with them. And we welcome your comments and questions. All right. And speaking of a lot to offer, there's the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. Good gosh almighty. We've got you covered 7 days a week with all kinds of content, entertainment, and information that you will appreciate. Starting with Heather Ellen with Comics, Chaos, and Sass, and ending with the Historical Fencing Guild, Armchair Rocket Science, all kinds of stuff on their comic book spectrum coming up Thursday night, along with Michaela Jade's Tidbits and Scribbles, Creative as Hail, TED Talks on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and Drinking with the Davies on Friday. All kinds of great stuff on the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. Please take a screenshot of that and check out all of our shows. We're almost all of us are on YouTube. We're definitely on Facebook, but check out our Facebook page, and you'll see some of our shows on there. And also, we want to say a great big thank you to our Patreon subscribers who you see there. $1 a month will get you so much, a mention in everything we do, to say nothing of looks at our weekly blog, which I just did one today. And if you go to the $5 level, you get to see some of our works in progress and other delights. So definitely go to www.patreon.com/Brian K. Morris. And as always, folks, thank you to everyone who's watching us now, whether it's live or on the rerun. Also, please, if you're watching on Facebook, please, if you like any part of this video, give this a like. Also, please give a like to the page you're watching it on as a thank you to our hosts. If you're watching us on the Brian K. Morris Rising Tide Broadcast Network page on YouTube, please smash that thumbs up button if you would. And also, please subscribe. We are getting more subscribers all the time, for which we're grateful. We've got all kinds of content that's coming up that you will be amazed by. And so please give us some love. And a huge thank you to Plasma Fire Graphics for sponsoring tonight's episode. Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you, because it matters to your customers. That's the thing that's going to get them to take it to the checkout counter, all right, and make it theirs. So check out Jeffrey Hayes at plasmafiregraphics.com. Also, check out their Facebook for more examples of their fine work. You saw a couple trailers at the start of the show. They did that. So check out plasmafiregraphics.com when the look of your book matters to you. And I think that's just about everybody I can mention. Thank you, Ted Davies Artistry, for sharing this broadcast. Please share this around on your accounts, if you would please, so that more people can see the cool people you hang out with. And speaking of cool people, I have delayed long enough. I can take it no longer. I'm going to unmute these wonderful gentlemen, and I want to introduce James Ian Mair, Deron Morgan, and James Stevenson of Moonlight Films. Gentlemen, how the heck are you?
Hi, Brian.
Good.
Thank you very much for having us tonight.
Well, thank you for allowing yourselves to be had. I appreciate it, and I know our audience is going to love you. Also, check out moonlight-films.com on the interwebs. You can also check them out on YouTube, where actually you can watch just about everything they have put out. And of course, I highly recommend Graveyard Stories and The Legend of Demoniac. Two of the finest films ever made. Forget Battleship Potemkin and Citizen Kane. We're talking true capital A art. Well, anyway, guys, I'm going to start this out with giving you guys the floor and all the dirt on it. What I want you to do is introduce yourselves one at a time and tell people how awesome you are. Okay, that's over. Thanks, folks, for tuning in. Anyway,
hey, I don't blame you.
Start us out, Ian.
I'm Ian Mair. On the films, I go by James Ian Mair just because it's longer and has more power. But Ian Mair is what I go by, and I am the writer, director, producer, and one of the owners here at Moonlight Films. And we're really excited and grateful to have the opportunity to talk to everybody tonight.
And I'm James Stevenson, and I go by James Stevenson on the movies because it's powerful enough as it is. And I am the associate producer, or co-producer, and I do on-set photography and fill in anywhere needed.
He's a man of many talents. So
many.
Yes, he is. And
on the air, but that's whatever.
That's for a different place.
About that.
That'll be the after show. And Deron Morgan, tell everyone how amazing you are.
Well, otherwise known as Mother. So you might know me as Mother. I know, Brian, you do. So
yes.
I do a little bit of everything, effects and makeup and just help. I mean, we all wear a billion hats, so we're all doing, 10 jobs each at some time. So, and then I act and we all act. And so, it's a very collaborative effort for sure. I mean, that's,
it's because we have no money.
Well, there's that too. There's the issue of having no capital and no time and basically nothing. We have nothing.
That's true. I mean, we're all laughing about that. I mean, one of the nicest things I can think of to say to you guys is, I really liked your last film. It looked like you actually had a budget.
Which one?
Mostly the ones I'm in, but anyway, that's another issue. But no.
You, Brian. No.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and here I come waltzing in town, demand to be fed, and then there goes the budget. But no, seriously, you guys. One thing that struck me about Moonlight Films was the fact that I know that like a lot of independent filmmakers, you guys don't have deep pockets to pull from as far as a budget. And yet you guys do, top of the line directing, top of the line writing, great acting. You get some great actors in your stuff. And, hats off to the special effects you guys do. And the appliances and the costumes that people wear. Like I said, you guys, if you guys don't have a budget, it doesn't show. Whereas a lot of places, like especially in Hollywood, if they don't have the budget, it shows. So let's get started with how did Moonlight Films get started?
It was the dawn of man. No, no. When I was in third grade, we had a movie of the month, and during the movie of the month, my teacher, who was one of my favorite teachers I've ever had, her name was Mrs. Breadaway. She picked the movie Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein as the film to show. And of course, most of the kids were like, oh, black and white. Oh no, Mrs. Breadaway. I was fascinated by the movie. I absolutely loved it. And with that film, for whatever reason, something clicked. And I went home and I asked my mom if I could use her big VHS shoulder video camera, and started making films in the backyard and in the basement, building, mad science labs and things. And then James and I became good friends and brought him in. And so we dabbled more playing around for years and years. And then finally around 08, 09, I wrote a full script and we brought in mostly family members to be in that film. And then a couple sort of, at this point, we sort of call them test films. We did a Jekyll and Hyde thing and then 2 vampire movies. And then right around 2012 with After Dark, Moonlight Films became an official company. And since then we've done 13 movies. So
and we found Deron sitting alongside the road, and he's just.
I was destitute, living in a shack outside of town, and these guys said, "We've got a, hell of a salary. We're going to hire you. We're going to pay you big money, and the rest is history." And here I am. So
yeah.
Hello, mother. We have $9.
Yeah, and I said that's enough.
Because that was 8 more than what he
I lived in Ian's crawl space for about half a year. So.
Oh man, that's yeah. So well, yeah. One of the things that amazes me about you guys, aside from the quality, and we're flashing some of the comments that we're getting. We thank everyone for showing up tonight, and we are going to get a slew of questions, I'm sure. But one thing everybody wants to know, I know, is Graveyard Stories has an appearance by the one and only Lloyd Kaufman. How did you guys, with no budget, wrangle the creator of the Toxic Avenger? I'm sure you guys get that question a lot.
We're very charming.
Yeah. Yes. I look really good in a suit. No. Yeah. No, we have a little bit of a budget. Actually, YouTube, just as a quick statement on the budget, YouTube, a lot of people criticize, you give your films away for free. But the thing is, the more views we get, the more revenue we earn. And with that revenue, we're able to, do what it is we do. And with Lloyd, I just reached out after seeing a video on a channel called Cinemassacre. And the host of that show, James Rolfe, he was with Lloyd, and Lloyd basically said, "Hey, I was a startup at one time. If any indie filmmakers out there, need my help in any way, just reach out on the website." So it was that simple. I remember it was right before Christmas. I just thought, I probably will never hear back. I zipped an email to his manager, John, who was a super, super nice guy. And they got back the very next day and was like, "Lloyd would love to." So he was coming to Indie PopCon. So he was only about 2 hours from us. And James and I got in the car and drove to Indianapolis. And we filmed for 2 separate films. So Lloyd's actually in 2 of our movies. And we did it all right there in his hotel room. And you really can't tell that it was shot in a hotel room. But he did it for a pretty small fee. He was really happy to help. So
and he was great to work with.
Yeah.
And I wasn't allowed to go. I'll just let you know right now. They kept me locked up back here. I couldn't go.
Crawl space.
He fanboys over certain people, and you can't take him.
Yeah. He was in Colorado.
I was in Colorado. And checking on a hemp order, fresh hemp.
So, they use a lot of ropes in Moonlight Films. A lot of rope, okay?
Well, I was on a family vacation, couldn't go. These guys went, and they called me when I was in Colorado and can't give me an update on how it went. And, we were thrilled, because it was like, wow, we finally got somebody, Lloyd Kaufman, and it was cool. It was a cool thing. It was really good.
Well, he is a nice guy because I got to meet him. I think it was the Indie PopCon after. Moonlight Films, and I thanked him for being in my film. He took it very graciously. So, but yeah, he is a great guy. And Anthony Beveau has a lot of questions about the Toxic Avenger and Class of Nuke Em High.
We don't know the answers to that.
Yeah, I'm sure we all do. But anyway, Cindy Kemp says, "Did you hear about the great new restaurant on the moon? The food is excellent, but there's no atmosphere." Yeah, you're going to get a lot of that tonight, and everyone is talking about. Oh, here we go. The Historical Fencing Guild. Check them out Friday nights on that channel, also on YouTube. Now I'm all about B-grade horror, so this is in my bailiwick. So, and Sarah, good to see you. Good to see everyone tonight. Say hi to the guys of Moonlight Films, and.
Hello.
And let's see, and we just had the comment dump here. And Sarah likes you, handsome Moonlight Films. Yeah, so I know it's getting warm in here now.
Yeah.
Now, one quick question. Now, we have, of course, we all know Deron as Mother. How did you get that name?
You don't want to know.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks for answering that. Anyway,
It's really not sure. There's rumors that go around. It was, he's kind of the motherly, person on the set that kind of watches over everybody. And then there was talk of, I don't know. There's been all kind of, who knows really where it came from. That's what I'm saying. I don't know where it came from.
it's become legendary. But Sarah goes, well, hello, Mother of Moonlight Films. Here's purring at you.
Purring at you.
All right. Okay,
yeah.
Good. I don't know how to respond to that, but.
Oh, I know how I'm responding, but anyway, Jim, so what genre you film? Now, you guys are primarily horror, but you've not done exclusively horror, have you?
It's horror sci-fi.
Yeah. The thing is, a lot of indie guys do horror because it's quote the easy genre, and I can see that being a thing. We all love horror films. We all have an interest in just that genre and sci-fi. And actually, one of the upcoming films, we're getting back into science fiction a little bit more, so that's good. But we've dabbled in police procedural and a family drama too, so that's just a little different for us. So
excellent, Anthony.
Hey,
yeah. Oh, is she one of ours? Hello, Vicky.
She's in a couple of our films, and will be in more soon. I just haven't talked to her about it yet, so I'll message you, Vicky.
There we go. Anthony Bavot wants to know, between Toxic Avenger and Romeo and Juliet, which is your favorite?
Toxic.
Yeah.
I've never seen the other one. I don't know.
Oh,
I'm sorry, Anthony.
Yeah, Toxic Avenger. That's all you need to know, people.
That's right.
Right.
And apparently Darren's made a friend. I would have picked Deron up off the side of the road too. All right. Anthony Bavot says to the guys of Moonlight Films, how easy or hard is it to create horror films? How difficult is it? And because there's a lot of moving parts. I'm sorry?
It depends. Usually, it takes quite a bit of back end. Ian's got a lot to do with the scripts that take a while. Deron works a lot on costume and stuff. So, I mean, when you don't have a budget, it takes a lot more of your personal time and a lot more. You got to get creative with what you got to work with, too, to make it work.
I think there's a struggle in every film we do, and a lot of it is money, a lot of it is time, scheduling, knowing your limitations. Things we want to do, sometimes I'll say, we can't do that, Ian. It's not going to work.
Yeah.
He'll say, we'll have this great scene and something, I was like, we just don't have the budget to pull it off. So then you gotta sort of say, well, what can we do in place of that and make something work? And that usually affects our makeup, and you got to sort of scale it back a little bit. I mean, it'd be great to have, blowing stuff up, and
which we have done.
We've done, but it'd be great to have some, monstrous, city on fire, but you just got to know your limitations. I mean, it's.
Well, and I think too that our films are a testament to a good team behind the scenes and in front of the camera, because honestly, when it comes right down to it, the people who are involved in our movies work with our group because they love to do it, because they're happy to come in and dedicate their time and their talents. And if it weren't for those people and people, even our family members help in different ways, it's like it really is a team effort. If it was just the three of us, we wouldn't have a movie. That there's a lot of people that go into these films. So really, to me, that despite lack of budget or lack of time, that's really where the magic happens, is the amount of good people we work with. So.
Yeah, and I noticed that you guys, from having worked with you guys get a lot of cooperation from the community as well.
We
Yeah.
really do. Just especially with locations, it's like, you send out a feeler on Facebook. Hey, do you have this? And then you get a flood of messages. Oh, we've got this. And by the time it's done, you've got keys to 10 different buildings in town where people have, volunteered to lend you their living room or their pole barn or their basement or whatever, So we've been very blessed in the area we work in. So.
Fantastic. And Sarah goes, ooh, using a lot of ropes, and she's purring even more. So
it's all for you, mother.
Yeah.
It's all for you, my man. And let's see, Anthony, it's the Toxic Avenger, your favorite mutant radioactive hero.
Oh no, it's Big G. Godzilla, Gojira, come on.
All right. Oh,
King
now
of
you're
Monsters.
talking my language now. So when are we getting a kaiju film out of Moonlight?
Yeah,
I know they're ignoring me. Anyway, but City. No, I asked when are we getting a kaiju film out of you guys?
Oh, he would have done one years ago if we'd let him.
Yeah.
we may someday. You never know.
He could pull it off with a lower budget.
I could.
He could really, yeah. Yeah, because
who knows down the road it could happen. I mean, you just don't know.
Oh man, that'd be great. City Cap asks, "What did the Moon say to his therapist?" I'm just going through a phase. Yeah. And Vicky says, "Looking forward to the next Moonlight film." And what's in the pipeline for you? What's in the pipeline right now?
We can't seem to get to it. It's been planned for a while. Some of the shoots have, not all of them.
Yeah.
So the next thing we're working on is a film called Flesh Eaters, and it's about as subtle as it sounds. But it is a horror film, obviously, that is sort of a love letter to both Italian zombie films as well as Filipino horror films, which is something you don't hear a lot about. They made a lot of great low-budget horror films in the Philippines in the late 60s and throughout the 70s. And Eddie Romero was a big director, and Jerry DeLeon. And this movie is kind of an Americanized version, if you will, of one of those kind of films. Whereas they had an island, we have a swamp. So we can't go to an island in southern Indiana, but we can have swampy areas sort of substitute. So it's a story. We got a mad scientist again, because I love my mad scientist, and all the mayhem that ensues as an effect of this mad science. So we've got our initial days scheduled, but we've got all sorts of other people that we're going to filter in later on too. So we're starting that end of April and then all throughout May and early June. So
that's great.
We've already started on those. Are just the shoots.
Well, yeah, technically we've started. We filmed a week, 2 weeks ago.
And we've had a lot of pre-production.
So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now of course, the inevitable question is going to be about the coronavirus. How has that impact, aside from filming, not being able to film consistently, how has that impacted you? Has it given you more time to prepare for the next film, or is it a roadblock to you?
We can't do premieres. I mean, that's a big thing. We everything, our physical premieres have been put on hold because the situation with theaters is no one wants to go to a theater right now, and so I'm hoping that'll change the next year or so, but
there's nothing wrong with a YouTube premiere, but nothing beats people coming to the theater and the popcorn and the big screen. That's where these things need to launch, and it's been kind of disappointing to not be able to do that. And the theater has offered, the theater we use normally has offered to allow us to come in with a smaller group. But the thing is, when it costs to rent a theater to show a film with the coronavirus, we can't guarantee that enough people would come and stay socially distanced and all that to make it worthwhile. So
right. Well, you want to give a shout out to the theater?
Absolutely. The Tivoli Theater in Spencer, Indiana. We've shown 7 or 8 films there, and that they are wonderful. It's all ran by volunteers. and they do a super good job.
Really nice theater.
Great theater.
Oh, it's a
Beautiful theater.
beautiful building. It was did it burn or was partially
It was condemned
destroyed?
for a long time, I believe.
Yeah, and they I think it was Cook Medical, put a bunch of money back into that to bring it back to life. And the lady that runs it, her name is Andrea White. She's wonderful to work with, and they're super generous, and they allow us to come in, and they've allowed us to film there before, and so it's a great place. So
That's super. That's great. Now, this from the desk for the Small Press Publisher. Check him out 10 p.m. Eastern on Saturday nights. He's always got great interviews with comic creators. Did you have free reign to add on to the lore of the Toxic Avenger? I guess the relationship with Lloyd Kaufman could be described as casual, and that's a whole different rights thing that I don't think these guys have the right to. They don't have it yet. But who knows?
We did get offered to film there, didn't we?
this is true. Deron brought that up. We did get the offer to actually film at Troma Studios. They did offer that to us, but that's in New York, and it was a deal where it was a lot easier to go to Indianapolis than to drive all the way to New York.
Oh, I can understand that. Brian Rodman, good to see you, brother. Good evening. Question: what are your greatest inspirations in filmmaking?
I don't want to sound cliche. I don't know. Mine personally, I think have changed when I was little. The black and white horror films of Universal. So you had James Whale, Todd Browning, these guys. Got a little older, more John Carpenter, George Romero, but honestly anymore, I seem to follow directors of more of the micro budget indie world. They seem to be more of an inspiration because I look at that and I go, okay, this is kind of where we're working at this level. What do they do with little money? So what can we do with little money? And I think that to me, that's more inspiring now. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, what kind of relation, you mentioned studying other filmmakers, but do you network with other small filmmakers? Because I know, like in the realm of publishing and writing where I'm at, we have all kinds of networks. We all cooperate with each other because that's the rising tide. But do you have a similar relationship with other small filmmakers?
Oh yeah, Mark Polonia, who some of your viewers may know from the Polonia brothers. Mark's one of my favorites. I love a lot of the films he's done. Splatter Farm and what else has Mark done? Empire of the Apes, and I love Mark's movies. Dustin Ferguson, who has taken off and been quite a bit bigger now, and he's made over 100 films, and he's not a whole lot older than me. But he started in Nebraska making no budget movies, and he made a career out of it now. And Joe Sherlock and John Ward, those guys are great. I follow them, and Dustin Hubbard. These are all guys that I communicate with, and Tim Ritter and Ted Moring and Dave Sterling, the producer Dave Sterling out in California. They all make lower budget films. Some of them crowdfund and some of them self-fund, but they're all still independent for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
So these guys, I think, are an inspiration because they have to do so much of it themselves. They have to put so much more of their hearts into it. And I feel like that's kind of what we do. We give a lot of ourselves for these movies. So I think they're inspiring. So
I'm a big John Carpenter fan. I mean, the first Halloween and The Thing is my all-time favorite horror film from '82. And, Halloween was essentially an independent film. I mean, it was very low budget and made it was a cult classic. It was more a cult classic. It's a legendary film. But, Carpenter for me, and Sam Raimi, and, Evil Dead, and just, and early Spielberg, and of course some George Lucas stuff, and, Star Wars and all that. So, I mean, I'm just a film nut. I like films in general. I mean, so.
Yeah.
And he purrs like a kitten.
Of course he.
We're not supposed to talk about that on air. So.
Oh, that's okay. It's a secret between me and the couple thousand people that watch this show. Nothing to be nervous about. And Teresa Dunn wants to know: do you guys have a line of women wanting to act in your films? This is a good time to apologize. Tara Bixler could not be with us tonight due to other commitments.
Tara's not here. Tara. Tara,
where did she go?
Oh, I guess she's not here. You're right. She's not here.
Okay, yeah, I think you guys mentioned that I would be here and she fled. But anyway, but no,
she's got a busy work schedule and she had to get up super early.
Yeah.
So,
but we will get her on this show eventually. She's got to run out of excuses. But anyway, Teresa asks a very good question. Now, how hard is it for you guys to find a cast for your film, and how do you go about finding them?
Initially, it was asking around the area, and occasionally we'll post on Facebook, hey, looking for, usually it's a smaller part. Indiana Actors is a great platform. There's a guy named Steve Pyatt, and he created a site where you can have a resume and you can share all the things you've been in. And that's been a wonderful tool, because these are people who are from all over the state of Indiana who want to act, and they put right on there, they're willing to travel, and they're willing to work for experience, these types of things. And so, we do the best we can with like gas, we always try to reimburse people for gas and food, lunch, dinner, those types of things. But what's cool is in the 13 or so, going on 14, 15 movies we've made, used to be, it was me, hi, my name's Ian Mair, I run this company. Now we have people asking us, hey, saw your films, if you ever need so-and-so type of person, I'd love to help you out. So that's cool. We've sort of gone, that far with it, starting from, not begging, but really needing the help, to now we have people asking us, can I be part of that? It's an honor. So
yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Now, did you get more people after they saw, holy cow, they're rubbing elbows with Lloyd Kaufman. Maybe I can get to see him too. Did you get more of that, or was that already starting to happen before Graveyard Stories?
We always talk about like phases. Moonlight Films goes through phases, and I think I would say the Graveyard Stories phase is kind of moved on to a new. We're in the Blood Cove phase now. But whatever the hell that means. But the Graveyard seemed like kind of a turning point for us. The budgets got a little bit bigger. We started to expand. That was by far the biggest cast we had at that point. And there were a lot of you guys in that film, and a lot of different stories. So I think that after that movie really took a successful turn on YouTube and has how many million? 1 million,
yeah,
five or
it's over 1 million views.
Yeah, so that kind of has been a turning point.
We started getting a lot more out of town people, a lot more people farther coming in.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Cindy Kemp asks, how does a man on the moon get his haircut? Eclipse it.
Yeah.
Now,
that's cool.
See, I told you she honors us with her jokes. Now, Brian Rodman, Memoirs of an Angel, still in the last couple days of his Kickstarter, has the question that I'm sure everyone who's seen Graveyard Stories has been wanting to ask. How much fun, or actually, no, Legend of Demoniac, how much fun was it to kill Brian K. Morris in the woods?
Ooh, we killed him quick. We were running out of daylight. So he when it was time to die, he went.
Yeah.
and did a great job.
Thank you. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Like Ian said, we got, due to, I don't think it was because of me. I think it was because of all our schedules. We had basically one take to do the opening of that film.
The biggest part, yeah.
Yeah, and so I remember when the scene where I pushed Tara away, hopefully to avoid getting killed, shows what I know. And I fell down on the ground. Fortunately, I have training for that sort of thing, but I didn't want to move. I lay there on the ground while Tara kept filming her scene. So then, everybody came back to me, and I'm like, I'm not moving. I'm only keep continuity.
You did an awesome job, and you got to sing on film, which was great. So
well, sort of, and I don't know what happened to me. I will confess right now, I did have the lyrics memorized, but somehow when the camera came on, I don't know what it was, but I blanked out on the lyrics, but it worked. So
it was good. Well, your character was supposed to be kind of
Loopy.
yeah.
Yeah.
A very free-spirited man. So I like that the words were forgotten. It worked better that way, you know?
Yeah. It was all deliberate. Yeah, that's it, people. Davies has a question. What kind of insurance premiums do I need for a movie? People getting hurt, etc. How do you set up a film with without a huge liability? That's a good question.
You have to talk to our people about that.
Yeah. We have lawyers on standby. No. The thing.
If you get hurt, we don't know who you are.
No.
Yeah.
We be honest with you, Ted. We've done the 13 films, and so far, the biggest injury on a set was a scraped hand that required an ambicare visit, and then we dropped a barn trailer on my foot one time. It come back down and crushed my toe. But it all worked out. It's fine. But it hurt at the time. But we've been pretty lucky with nobody getting hurt. The biggest part of that is planning scenes out and coordinating to where people don't get hurt. And that's the thing about the daylight running out. You know, Brian was falling on grass, so although it might have hurt his knees or something a little bit, it wasn't like a giant stunt. If we have to do stunt work a little bit more, we take a lot more time to plan those things out so people don't get hurt beyond a scrape. So
yeah. Well, I still remember what was in Graveyard Stories where we're filming in the cabin when the wasp nest is awakening.
Didn't plan for that, no.
No, and how can you? And here's I'm allergic to bee stings, so I made sure that we got through that as quickly as we could.
Yeah, you guys did. You and Tara you guys are a good team.
She's amazing. She really is.
She is.
I have none but love for her. She is fantastic, and she did. All of you, I will say, did a lot to make me feel comfortable on the set. So.
Oh, well, good. Well, thank you for the endorsement.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm more than happy to. Bill Sarden asks, which do you feel is more important of horror movie genres, the classic Universal monster movies or the 80s slasher films?
Important? I don't know. I think they're so different.
Yeah. What do you think influences your work? Because, Ian, you did mention Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein, which is an incredibly underrated film in my opinion. I love that film. I just rewatched it recently. But then again, a lot of people are expecting blood, gore, limbs being torn off. How much of that?
We do that too.
We expect that as well.
They're almost two genres.
Maker of Monsters is kind of a throwback, I think, a little bit to old school monster movies, and then we do slasher movies as well. I mean, we try to touch upon all that, and I think because we're a fan of old stuff, we're a fan of indie stuff, we're a fan of 80s stuff, so we just use our influences, and it
makes sense.
That's kind of where we go with that. I mean,
sure. Anthony Beveau asks, do you guys need actors?
Where are you located, Anthony?
He's around the St. Louis area.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
like 3 hours.
It's not too far.
It's about 3 hours or so from us.
Yeah. I mean, if you're serious about it, shoot me a message just through the Moonlight Facebook channel, and if we have something upcoming that we might be able to work with you on, absolutely. If it's something that you would enjoy, and I mean the mileage, you might get a little steep that distance, but we could do what we could. So thank you for your interest.
Yeah, definitely get in touch with these guys. They make good stuff. Definitely check. Everyone, please do a search for Moonlight Films on YouTube, because like I said, the movies, you can watch it for free. And it's good stuff. It really is. I'm not saying it just because these guys are here. I do brag on them when they're not around. So, and Cindy Kep asks, what takes the most time in producing a film? What aspect of filmmaking probably takes most of your time and energy?
Writing. I think writing takes the most time because there's a lot of like Deron commented earlier about, oh, we think we can do this, so I have this vision and I write it out, and then we start location scouting or figuring out what we can do with effects, and then I go back and I rewrite some more. And so, you know, scripts are rewritten several times before they become, you know, what they are. And there's sometimes where I'm rewriting the day of, if something backfires and we have to change what we do. And sometimes the effects work takes us quite a while. It depends on the movie.
It used to be that that filming was probably the longest, but it's probably the shortest anymore. Pre-production is probably the longest part.
Pre and post.
Yeah.
Filming. I mean, typically we get the days scheduled. People come in. We usually don't have a lot of rescheduling. Knock on wood for our next project. Because we can't reschedule this one. But for those of you watching, please do not cancel on us. Pre and post is what takes a while. Editing, I edit really pretty fast. I edit as we go, so usually by the time we shoot something and we're back together filming, I have a big chunk of what we've shot edited all ready to go. It may be a rough edit, but it gives us a pretty good idea of where things are going. But we spend more time in pre-production, so we don't have as much on film days. That's sort of the logic.
And within editing as we go helps a lot with if the movie's taking a direction or has something come up, it makes it a lot easier to fix it, you know, as we're working on it than waiting till the end and, oh, there's a big blooper that we should have caught.
Right. I like to edit a lot. Editing is one of, if not my favorite parts of the whole project, because I can have my coffee and just, you know, work on it. So
we understand.
I don't have any tonight here, but we're not at the Moonlight Films studio. So,
there we go.
The undisclosed location. We can't tell you where we're at, and we won't tell you where we're at. So don't ask.
We understand. Witness relocation program is very important to us too. So
we're gonna have to come up with a new nickname for him because, you know, witness relocation. You can't use mother.
Yeah.
That's true. But we got to keep this man safe. He's a benefit to the community. Bill Sarton says, with summer just around the corner, would you consider showing your movies at outdoor park theaters or drive-ins? Well, is there a drive-in close to you guys?
Spencer.
Yeah, Spencer has one.
Terre Haute.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I knew Terre Haute did. Yeah. But would you consider showing?
I would love to. And actually with COVID, that would be, if we could have that opportunity to show a film outside, I think that might be the ticket for this year to get a good turnout, is to do it outside. So that's good, definitely a good thought, Bill, with showing things outside.
Very cool. Cindy Kep says astronomers get tired after watching the moon go around the Earth for 24 hours, so they called it a day.
All right.
And Anthony Beveau says, we have a Tivoli Theater in St. Louis in the Del Mar Loop.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, Del Mar Loop's kind of cool. It's kind of like a little bohemian college area that has like a number of restaurants and comic shops and such. Sarah says, I'd happily be an actress. I could be that cliche screaming woman in the face of horror.
All right. Well, we always need more screamers.
Yeah.
So and purrs, you know, is that a thing? Purr.
This
is Darren's job. So yes, Sarah. If I don't know where you're located, but
Charleston, Illinois.
That's not too far. Okay.
No, it's not. No, it's not very far at all. So
okay, yeah. Shoot us a Facebook message on the Moonlight Films Facebook page, and we may be able to work something out. So I don't know with this project that we have upcoming, Flesh Eaters. We've got most of the principal roles cast, but you know, there's things change. So
That's true. Now, Molly Daniels asks, Molly, good to see you. Where do you film? A studio or different locations? Now, we have talked about, um, the fact that the community basically has opened its doors to you guys and made a lot of stuff available. And let's reveal it right now. The world is your studio.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Which we did Graveyard Stories too. We did a little indoor studio work with it. So we have done, a little at one location studio.
Tell you what, one shout out I want to give. I don't know if any of these guys are watching, but Frightmare's Haunted House in Linton, Indiana. Kudos to Frightmare's Haunted House. Those guys, not only do they volunteer their time to help, they've acted in the films, and
they've always got props if we need them.
Yeah, and they open their doors and they let us run amok in that haunted house 9 months of the year if we need it, and they are top notch. So Frightmare's Haunted House, definitely.
Yeah.
As far as that question goes, I think most of our stuff's out on location.
Yeah.
We will build sets, in a location if we need to set up like a lab, or, we'll build sets, but we shoot a lot of it out on location. If it's in a woods or a lake, or if it's in an old barn or whatever, we get,
some things are easier. If you need an office, a lot of times it's easier just to find an office and try and make one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone says, hey, we got an office, you guys are welcome to shoot there, as opposed to trying to rig something up. It looks more authentic, it's real. Mm-hmm. And so most of it's on location, though, out on location. So
Baltimore, the city of Baltimore was our film set about 4 movies ago. So that was neat.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
That was an experience, getting to the idea in that film was to get enough B-roll of the city of Baltimore that the whole film looked like it took place. So we would go to sort of discrete locations around here, back alleys, and we made sure trash cans that said Linton were turned that way. It wouldn't give it away where we were. But and the people who helped us in Baltimore, I had them watch the scenes back, and I said, does this look authentic? And they said, oh, absolutely. So I think people bought it that we filmed the majority in Baltimore, when really only about 3 scenes were filmed in Baltimore. So
that's fantastic. Well, I know, like, leading up to my scene, that I remember we filmed the stuff inside the shack at first. Mm-hmm. And then Ian and Tara went driving all around the community. And I think and I seem to remember that, like, the scene where she's driving up to my house, Walt's house, that was one of the last scenes we filmed, I think, before we went on the road. That we had done all the stuff in the house, and then you two just went off, and Deron and James and I were just hanging around having fun, and while you were doing all kinds of B-roll, which is like scene. Would you describe it as like scene work? Like a second assistant director might do.
I'm not sure what that would be. It would be called lack of time. So we.
Well, I mean all this atmosphere stuff, all the stuff where you don't need to direct a person,
Just B-roll. Yeah, I mean, and that's one of those things. If we had a big crew, I could send somebody else out to do it. But I'm kind of particular about how things are shot. So even if we had more and more and more people, I'm not sure if I would relinquish that job. But I have a problem, Brian.
Find the control freak in this group. It won't take long, huh? Good for you. I know the feeling. Sarah says filmmakers with limited budgets seem to be more creative because they put it in for the work, not just for the box office wealth. Do you agree?
Oh, absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah. I think you have to. I think James may have said that earlier, that you don't want to say shortcut, but in a way that's what it is. You have to find shortcuts around things because you don't have.
You got to get more creative.
Yeah, I mean, paint fixes a lot of things. It's like, well, we have this. Can we make it look like something else? Yep. Well, let's get some paint. That makes a lot of difference with props and things. But I mean, obviously, when she says box office, we don't have that term. I wish that would apply to us, but except for one 2 nights at a theater, it doesn't. But that YouTube money, I can't talk that up enough. That is how we keep going. Is the money? I mean, none of the stuff comes from our pockets. It's all what is the term?
Self-funding.
Yeah. It funds itself from YouTube. So if we've got this much money in the bank right now, from YouTube and Google, that's how much we have to work with on the next film. So we've had a really, really good last couple of months. So therefore, in Flesh Eaters, we have a little bit more to play with than what we did on the last one. So that's a good thing.
Well, that's very clever, using monetization on YouTube to fund the movies. Brian Rodman has a question. Now, have you utilized crowdfunding much? You guys have never done like a Kickstarter campaign or anything, have you?
Just once.
Just once.
Graveyard Stories.
Oh, okay.
But I couldn't remember
Yeah.
what movie it was.
The first Graveyard Story is the only time we've ever done that.
Yeah.
And why haven't you gone back to crowdfunding since then? Was it too much effort? Did you?
We're an empire.
We've gotten so big. No.
I believe it.
Well, it seems like we keep going back to the budget thing in some way, which is good. And this hopefully this comes off sounding modest, but not self-deprecating. We've kind of got to a point on YouTube where we're able to do what we want to do and make it work without the crowdfunding. So it's, even though we're not really making money, personal money, and the people who help us are not making money, we're able to do what we need to do without taking that extra step. And crowdfunding's a lot of work.
Yeah.
If you have the perks to make sure everything is sent out at a certain time, if your movie's delayed or it takes longer to get DVDs or shirts or posters or whatever done, your cast is willing to wait because they understand that they were there for the whole process. They know how long things take. People who gave you money are like, well, where's my stuff? And so, which is understandable. So I think a lot of that is just it's less of an issue, and we're able to do what we like with our YouTube revenue. So I guess we don't really need it as much.
Well, it takes some pressure off too, because when you're doing that, knock on wood, we've never not finished a project, but there could always be that time that something happens, or your lead actor, 3/4 of the way through the movie may have something come up. And then you're in a situation where you feel more obligated to finish it because people have invested in you finishing this project.
Right. That's a real good point.
Well, and we own our own cameras and lighting equipment, and so we own all this stuff already. So it's like we have everything there, and props. And we all work sort of separately in our houses. He's got workspace where he works. He's got workspace. I've got workspace. So we've got all this stuff. Closets full of props, and and shelves full of props. And so the YouTube works for us right now. It'd be great to have a bigger budget, but I think it just works for what we're doing, and it is a lot easier than crowdfunding and having to go through all that extra stress and
Oh, it makes perfect sense. So everybody, please go to YouTube, and after you subscribe to my channel, Brian K. Moore's Rising Tide Publications, # always promote, be sure to look up Moonlight Films and start watching these guys what they do, because it's great stuff. I can't emphasize that enough. If you like a variety of films, particularly in the horror genre, but definitely subscribe to their channel and start watching their films, because it helps them a lot. And Sarah says not only does she scream, she purrs like a kitten too. Rawr. Anyway, I will remember that. I think I may have a scene written for you, Sarah. I'll get back with you later. Molly Daniels asks, are you involved with America on Film and their festival?
No, we're not. I'm not. I know I've heard that name before, but we've been. I don't know. We've submitted to several festivals. Been in just a couple, but I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I'm not sure why, Molly, the festival circuit just seems like something we just kind of.
Well, a lot of the festivals are targeted more towards short films, and we really don't do short films.
No.
You know, they're really pushing for the 20-minute mark, which I get that because they got so many of them to watch. So a lot of times we fall outside the purviews because our films are significantly longer than that.
Yeah.
Well, that, and they also kind of dump on horror films. You know, it's they you know, it's
to them.
I love art films. I love artsy films and dramas and everything, but horror just kind of gets dumped on. You know, it's like people just look at it as just throwaway whatever, and so I think you go into a film festival, unless it's a horror film festival,
right,
which we talked about entering at some point, but just a general film festival, we've not had a lot of luck with that. So
that makes sense. Anthony Bevo says, do you guys like critters? I'm not sure if they have pets or not, Anthony, but thank you for your
movie
question.
Critters.
We have Darren.
Mother. Thank you very much. The movie Critters, yes. We love Critters, the series, yes.
Oh, and Facebook user, it looks like you need to renew your membership. We have the link up above if you're watching on Facebook and below if you're watching on YouTube. I'd love to make a movie out of my books. A Girl Can Dream. Oh yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and author Michaela Jade says, oh, hello, dudes. And she's a writer, too.
Hello, Michaela.
And Molly Daniels asks if you can use someone with a broken arm. That's her.
Well, we have a part coming up for someone with a broken leg. So sorry, Molly. No.
That's true. And Sarah says Moonlight Films. Oh, Master Ron Fitzgerald. Yes, he's an illusionist out of the Chicago area. And he does some films, actually, writes and produces and acts in them. And he's the master of dark, sticky illusion. Yes, he would be a good addition to these films. And yes, I fell down on the ground at her house one time. We didn't get that one on film. We'll just leave that. We'll just leave that to your fertile imaginations. But Cookie was there too. Anyway, boom chicka wow wow. Anyway, Facebook user asks, how do you choose a script? Well, I think that someone's got an inside line here.
Yeah, choose. It'd be wonderful to smoke my cigar and choose from a stack of 20. No, I don't smoke cigars. I should, but it would go good with the coffee. No, a script, all the scripts that we've used for our films, I write, and it usually just starts with throwing ideas back and forth and the yellow legal pad, jotting ideas down of what we want to do, and sometimes that's two of us, sometimes that's three of us or more, or my brother Ben offers a lot of creative input, and he's an associate producer and a big helping hand on a lot of these films. I run ideas by him and my wife, and eventually we come up with some form of a storyline, and then it's birthed from there, and it's a long process. Brian, you can probably attest to this. When you're in the writing mode,
yes,
you have to stay there, because if you get out of the writing mode, it's tough sometimes to get back. So there's times when I'll wake up in the middle of the night, and I get a glass of water, and I'm like, that's it. That's the time I want to go, and I just go. And then days will go by, and I won't write at all because I just don't feel it. And then I'll hit it again. And a lot of times that's how it happens is, you get a creative flow and you just get a lot done at one time.
Yeah.
So
you get in that zone.
Yeah.
And you just gotta get it out of your head and into a computer. And Dan Holofield asks if you need a soundtrack composer. He does music, by the way. He is also a co-star on Stupid O'Clock Thursday nights at 9 p.m., 11 p.m. Saturdays. Please check it out on the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. Hashtag always promote.
Hi, Dan. We do have a longtime composer who works with us on each of the films, Virgil Franklin. He's out of Linton too, and he has scored a lot of different films and for PBS and Sci-Fi Channel. And we've worked with Virgil for a long time. But if ever we need any other additional music, I'd be happy to talk to you and be honored to have that opportunity to fill in, or if we could combine scores and work from there. So send us a message on the Facebook channel, and we'll see where it goes. So thank you for bringing that up.
There you go. And Molly Dan says that's action on film for AOF that was mentioned earlier.
Oh, okay.
So.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure if I know about that. And Molly, I'm sorry about your broken arm. I forgot to say that earlier. I wanted to tell you sorry about the broken arm.
She's healing rapidly, though. We are getting progress reports. So, and Vicky says they are great people to work with. I will second that. And Bill Sargent says if you could make a thank you, Vicky. Bill Sargent says if you could make a movie of another genre besides horror, what would it be? Now you mentioned you've got a sci-fi film on the back burner there. What would you? What genre would you write in? Let me amplify that a little. That you haven't written in yet for film.
I don't know. Comedy would be great. Comedy is very, very hard. I think probably one of the hardest to get right. I would love at some point to write a really good, like gritty city based drama. But we don't have a city. We have a lot of cornfields. But I think I could easily get into sort of gritty crime drama if not police procedural drama, but like gangster kind of stuff. And I know he would be all about that. And something in a jazz club, with lounge singers and lots of smoke and jazz music. I would love that.
Film noir.
Oh yeah. That would be some of that 90s saxophone, early 90s direct to video. Mm-hmm. Shannon Tweed saxophone. Oh yeah.
I'd probably do a claymation something about helping kids brush their teeth or something.
That's why he's the first one off the island.
We're not going to make that.
No.
For me, I mean, a gritty crime drama would be cool. Like I said, city, you'd have to have a real city, and of course I would look more like a vigilante type film, like a Death Wish or something like that. Of course, kaiju, or and comic. I'm a comic book nut, so some kind of vigilante comic book type movie, but we pretty much stick to horror and sci-fi. I mean, that's our bread and butter, man. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. Yeah.
That's right. Don't mess with success.
Right,
Anthony Beveau says, I would be willing to travel for acting, and I will send you guys a message. And thank you guys for being open to me possibly acting with you.
Oh, well, thank you, Anthony.
Awesome.
We'll be happy to talk to you. Absolutely.
Yeah, and let's see. We just had another comment dump here. That's one thing I better warn you guys about StreamYard. If you get behind in your comments like some people do, you get what's called a comment dump. And Michaela Jade has found y'all on YouTube and subscribed.
Thank you, Michaela.
Thank you. Every right thinking American should be doing that at this moment. Thank you, Michaela. Appreciate it. And the AOF Center Grove has one between Indy and Mooresville. So,
the festival.
Yeah, must be. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Molly, if you have any information on that, if you could get word to these guys, that would be really, really helpful. Maybe via their Facebook page. So, and it's an awesome page as well. Brian Rodman asks, if you could do the Moonlight Films spin on an already existing film, what would it be and why? What film would you guys like to remake if you could get the rights?
What ones would we not? There'd be a list of ones we wouldn't want.
Yeah.
I was gonna say there's probably a huge list that you guys wouldn't want to touch.
I love the question, Brian, but to be honest, remakes really piss me off. But
I like him, but he's not a fan.
Every once in a while, a remake will. I know in the mid 2000s when Michael Bay, I think it was Michael Bay, was sort of spearheading all the remakes of like Texas Chainsaw Massacre and oh my god,
some of those aren't bad. Some of them are.
They were fine to begin with, but I don't know.
Some things are classics and should be left classics.
I would love to make a shark film just because I love Jaws so much, but I wouldn't ever dream of remaking Jaws. But shark films are a dime a dozen, So, but
now but we've sort of done. I mean, like Moonlight Films spin. I mean, you think about like Blood Cove is, Blood Cove is kind of our Halloween or our Friday the 13th. So that's that's kind of what that. Now if somebody wants to remake Blood Cove and give us $10 million, we'll let them remake it.
Yeah.
We can talk.
So if you
We don't
got
talk
any connections
about
to Warner Brothers or whatever, just send them our way.
I want to remake Debbie Does Dallas. No.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, these guys want a budget where they could do three girls in one cup.
Hey, and there's one movie that should never be remade, Duel.
Oh.
Amen, brother. Amen.
You like Duel?
I love Duel. I know
Yeah.
where I was sitting when I first saw it. I was at home watching it in my living room and
Great film.
grooving on that. That's a movie that
It's
man, I need to watch that
shot.
again.
It's a beautiful film, the way it's shot, everything about it. Dennis Weaver. These guys are sick of hearing about
He
Duel.
watches it once a week.
Oh, I knew I love you for a reason, Mother. Seriously,
go.
that is a super film. It really
It
is.
Well, we did a
Tribute,
tribute
slight tribute.
in the second Graveyard Stories film. It's uneven as hell. However, one of the shining moments in the film is when Deron plays a Dennis Weaver-esque character opposite Tara Bixler, who was marvelous in the film.
Yep.
And Deron did quite a job at sort of taking those mannerisms and things that Dennis Weaver had as David Mann.
It was my
so.
heartfelt tribute to David Mann, Dennis Weaver, to Duel, to the whole thing, and we didn't rip it off, but people got watching it on YouTube. Some of the people got the connection.
Yeah.
They kind of figured it was a Duel tribute, and so. It's one of my favorite films, definitely.
I don't blame you. That was super. And Michaela J says the clever title pending crew coming to a movie near you soon.
There you go.
Yeah, we're taking care of all your casting problems here, I think. Sarah says, do you guys have any DVDs you make and sell? Do you have any merch at this point yet? Thank you for asking it, Sarah.
Yeah,
you guys
Sarah,
do.
Great questions. Yes, we have a DVD store through Kanaki. It is up to date with the exception of Fangs, the new vampire movie we just released. That one still, we're working out some of the kinks to get the format of that DVD just right. But
there's links on the website to get to all the DVDs.
Yeah. So the website has it. The Facebook, you can find it through Facebook. It's if you go to Kanaki, you're not going to find it. You have to have that specific link. To get to the DVDs.
So Facebook or the website's the easiest place to find it.
Yeah, the website would be the easiest place.
And they're all broke down. If there's a particular movie you want on the website, it'll take you to that specific movie if you want to buy it.
All right.
And they're pretty cheap. I think they're $7.99 each.
Something
like that. Yeah, we should know this information. Yeah.
Let's see.
Our people control
Our
that.
people handle that.
Now I control, and I can't tell you how much they are. I think they're $7.99, Sarah. So they're and we've actually got a lot more orders recently than I thought we did. I actually checked it a couple nights ago. So anyway, so you think I would know how much they were? But, yeah.
Well, go to www.moonlight-films.com for all your film needs.
That's right.
I'd like to thank my producer for putting that up. That would be nice. Anyway, so yeah, please check it out. They have some great films, and I'm not just saying that because they're here. And Molly Daniels asks if it's Linton or Linden. Linton is down by where Molly lives in the Vincennes area. It is actually close to you.
Linton. Yes, with Linton.
Probably 45-50 minutes from Vincennes.
Yeah. And Linden is closer to me, so south of Romney. And Sarah says major kudos for the YouTube funding.
Yes.
Yeah, seriously. If the system's working, don't break it, I say. She further asked, do you delve into the writings that some horror movies are based from to help with your own writing, or do you just watch the movies and go from there?
I seem to get inspired a lot by what I'm interested in at the time. So nothing's ever a direct take from anything. We try to be as original as possible. But I would say every film we've done is kind of a conglomerate of other films that are put together. Like the one we're working on now, Flesh Eaters, being kind of a 60s, 70s Filipino horror film married to an Italian zombie film with a little bit of, I don't know, a little bit of Peyton Place thrown in there. And
I'm loving this already.
But no, there's a love triangle. All the great films have them. But anyway, so I would just say it's kind of a stew pot of a lot of different ideas that are melded together. So not one specific influence per movie. No.
That makes sense. And Heather Elm, thank you so much for sharing us. Mwah. Everyone, please share this video to your pages or affiliated pages, and let's get the word out about Moonlight Films if we could. Sarah is working that job. She says, I have a closet full of props too. Need extra rope and other fun things. She says she's just kidding. I know better than that. And Eric Hawkins says Sarah sounds a little frustrated, and she's in a fun mood this evening, and that's the way we like you, Sarah.
Well, there's ropes involved,
There we go. Sarah, I'll be picking you up tomorrow. Anyway, Cindy Kemp says some astronauts wanted to have a New Year's party on the moon, but they didn't plan it in time.
Oh.
and here we go. Michaela Jane says, Sarah, you and I can make our own movies and make good money.
Better than us, probably.
Did it just get warm in here, guys? Anyway.
Purr, Darren, purr.
Yeah, purr for us, Darren. And and somebody shared my film just now, but I was thinking about Sarah and Michaela. So thank you for sharing this video. We do appreciate it. And perhaps Moonlight could do Santastein. You never know. The rights could be had real cheap.
I'm not sure. We're not. No. Are you don't say?
We're not sure what that is.
What is Santastein?
Santastein is this wonderful book by my favorite writer here, Santastein, the post-holiday Prometheus from available on Amazon. Please pick up your copy today. Thank you, Cindy. The check's in the mail. And
I didn't know that was one of your books.
Yes, it is. And in fact, if you want to choose, I do have others. I know that I'm so shy about mentioning that my stuff is available at www.amazon.com/author/Brian K. Morris. And all major credit cards are accepted at Amazon. Thank you. Anyway, and we need a producer. Oh, Michaela, we will talk. I've got my camera around here somewhere. And hello, Trevor Hawkins. Hello, everyone who's watching tonight. Cindy Capsa asks, is it a solar or lunar eclipse where the sun pauses in front of the moon? Neither. That would be the apocalypse. And yes, we don't have Christian Basil to say shut up to. Christian, we hope you get to feeling better. He's feeling under the weather. And apparently Sarah and Michaela are feeling something else. But anyway, Vicky says, how do you come up with the creature effects you create for the films? Mother, step to the front here and tell these
Mother, thank you very much for the title. I like that.
Yes.
It varies. It depends on the movie and what we need, and whether it's a guy in a suit or whether it's some sort of puppet effect or and I mean it depends on the film, really. It depends on what the film calls for, and we brainstorm about how can we pull this off and what's the best way to manufacture a mask or makeup or so there's not one real way to do it. It's just really based on the need of the film, so. And when you don't have any money, you have to really be creative.
We're back to that.
Well, I mean,
it's true though.
Vicky knows we have no money.
She knows this. She's been on our sets.
We kind of have a rough idea of what we're going for before we start making the creature.
But everybody's so talented. I think the whole group, and that we just brainstorm, and then sometimes James will go off and make something, and I'll make something, and he'll make something, and then we come back together and we do a screen test, or and so it's just it works. I think we're getting better about all that as the years go on. So
well, that the flesh eater suit, the main flesh eater monster in the film. You know, that was a mask that we had done before, and we've altered it. So Deron and I were working on paint schemes. James was in his garage building custom fingernails with a 3D printer for the nails. Then my brother come over and he put new lenses in to help see that are anti-fog, and put some more foam because he was the one wearing the suit. So it's good to have his input too.
Right.
With that, so really like the new suit is, that's one where
We've all collaborated.
Yeah. But then there's times where, like the Mummy for Fangs, we have an initial idea, and Deron locks himself in a closet at home and comes back one day, and he's sewn this beautiful mummy suit together by himself. You know,
Yeah, it was all hand sewn. It was hours and hours and hours of sewing, and
the Mummy will return. We would love to do just a singular mummy film. That was more of a vampire film with a mummy in the story, but we would love to do someday a mummy movie, and that suit is perfect for that. So that suit will be coming back. So
good, because you hate to put that much work into something so awesome.
Yeah,
right.
And just use it once,
and only for.
It has limited screen time in that film.
About 10-12 minutes worth out of a hour and 20-minute movie. So I mean, but it was a vampire movie. It was as Tara says, she was the movie. So we had to give all that screen time to Tara. I mean, you got to give the fans what they want. So
and they want Tara,
and she's fabulous. So great cast in that one too. So.
Now, Sarah has another probing question here. Did the three of you plan to have almost identical goatees? Looking good.
Well, mine goes up.
Actually, I have a goatee. He has a goatee. He has a Van Dyke. We got to be specific about this.
A lot of times I have more of a full beard.
We joined the same hair club for men.
Yeah, and well, the fact that this is a little known fact. Brian, you may know this.
Yeah.
I'm just a wee bit older than these two guys, so I'm the original. I'm the freaking original. Okay, so these guys, they have copied me.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. You are the trendsetter, Deron.
I am. I'm the old man of the group. You know this.
Although we have been several times misquoted as the three of us having graduated high school together.
Yeah. Oh, really? How'd that happen?
Deron graduated the year James and I were born.
Yeah, so he was driving. That's legit. Yeah. I'm 20 years older than these guys.
Yeah. So, but he doesn't look a day over 50. Wait.
I'm pushing 50, boys. Don't just leave it there. I'm pushing there. So let's stop. Okay?
Yeah, guys. If you ever have any questions on Medicaid, talk to me. I'm now an expert. Okay,
well, way before them, so I'll give you a call, Brian.
Please do. I can guide you through the process. It's not as bad as you think. In fact, I'm probably older than all three of you put together. But anyway, Cindy Kappa says, well, you got a bunch of pulp writers who could probably wrangle a film noir. Though that's true. But Ian needs me to help him write like a fish needs a bicycle. So,
sometimes my scripts are pretty sketchy.
Well, that's okay, because if you're looking for pulp entertainment, #always promote. Remember, the original Skyman battles the Master of Steam. Available on Amazon, www.amazon.com. You know the drill. Anyway, back to the fans here. And Molly Daniels could be the lounge singer. That's true. She does karaoke. She does a lot of karaoke.
Okay,
She's got a really wonderful voice. And Sarah says, ooh, you could do a type of V for Vendetta type of vigilante movie. And Eric Hawkins, who is the writer and illustrator of one of probably my favorite comic book, The Zombieful World of Oz. Now here's the plot. Here's the pitch, guys. Dorothy Gale gets out of the sanitarium, and she's convinced that all these fantasies of like yellow brick roads and flying monkeys are just that, just delusions, until the zombie invasion hits Kansas, and she's rescued by a lion and a scarecrow and a tin man.
Very cool. Very cool. That's something that's out.
Yes, it is. 2 issues have come out, and I will say the second issue is I don't have any copies next to me, darn it. I filed them away. But the second issue is extremely excellent because there's a 4-page story in there by my favorite writer. So anyway,
it's a great concept.
it is. I'm in all seriousness, it is a super, super comic book, and Eric is finishing up issue 3 right now. And Eric, of course, suggests that you guys should do a zombie Wizard of Oz movie, like the Zombie Full World of Oz.
That would probably take more of a budget than we have, but I was almost getting goosebumps hearing the tale that you were telling Brian about Eric's comic book. That's why when I said, was it something that was happening already? It's a really cool concept, Eric.
It really is. Eric, maybe we can get these guys some copies of your comics. So that would be a nice thing to do. I might be able to pick some up for me, Eric, and I can bring it over because I'm going to see these guys later this summer. And Sarah, I am not putting that on the screen, no matter how you phrase that. I am not putting that on the screen. And Cindy Kemp says, what do you call a parasite on the moon? A lunatic.
Oh, right.
And let's see, here we go. And so when are they making a live action Santastein? See, everyone wants to know, including the Historical Fencing Guild, Friday nights at 8 p.m., where Nicholas Tockert, the sword master himself, will teach all of you how to murder each other safely with bladed weapons.
Oh, man. Yeah. No need for a 38.
Yeah, these are quiet, and remember, swords never run out of bullets. So, and my dad said, no, Center Grove Drive-In. Well, I've only lived in Indiana for 6 years, given to me the break. So anyway, I don't know where everything is. I know there's a drive-in about, I think it's about half hour, 45 minutes north of me in Monticello, Indiana. So, and Michaela Jade agrees, remakes suck. They really do.
Yes, Michaela, yes.
Totally agree. Well, it's like I think I may have mentioned it to you guys at one point or another, but John Waters, the director of, the B-movie director of, some great films. And he made a statement one time that really stuck with me. Why are we remaking good films?
Yeah.
Why aren't we remaking bad films?
Remaking garbage.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
Anyway,
outspoken as always. There we go. And let's
Brian, if it's okay, the John Waters nod there would be a good time to mention George Stover, who we worked with in Baltimore. James and I had the opportunity for the maker of Monsters to go out and meet George Stover, and George has been in well over 100 movies, and he's been in three of our films, and then we worked with an actress. Her name's Leanna Shamish, and she also Baltimore resident, and she's been in a lot of horror films and sci-fi films over the years, and that was really neat because George sort of gave us the tour of that area of Baltimore, and one of the places was John Waters' house, and he knows John really well because he starred in a lot of his early films.
That's right.
So we got to see John Waters' house, and then he took us to Divine's tombstone. So we filmed in that cemetery where Divine was buried. So pretty interesting. George and Leanna, they're wonderful people. It was a pretty cool opportunity to go out there and
we're thrilled to have George in our films too.
Oh yeah.
Seriously.
He's great to work with.
That's fantastic. That is great. And yes. Sarah says Moonlight Films. I warned them about this, that they are listening to us. They are listening, but they're having their own conversation at the same time, and they're multitasking. And Cindy Kemp says, got stopped by police last night. They asked me if I had a police record, and I said, yes, Walking on the Moon from 1979.
I feel like this is Match Game 74 or something. These jokes. Where is what's his name?
Gene Rayburn?
No, the guy with the big glasses.
Charles Nelson Riley.
Where's Charles Nelson Riley at right now?
I'll do it. You can be Richard Dawson.
All right.
Yeah.
There you go.
Because Michaela Jade says I could watch the guy in the middle all day.
So can we.
There's somebody behind me back here, but
Uh,
sit down back there. Okay, we're good.
Oh, and Sarah, no, I don't have any spines. One thing I do for Sarah is I lick spines on here. It's nothing you guys need to see. So,
Yeah, we'd rather not, Brian.
okay, then I'll spare you guys because I like you. But I'll make it up to you later, Sarah. And vampires, yes. And
I agree. Yep. All
and
the way.
Anthony agrees. Loves vampires and always will.
Check
And
out our film, Fangs.
That's right.
Check out Fangs if you like vampires.
Biggest hit we've had in quite a while as far as viewership on YouTube. Fangs really is what's allowing us to go full steam ahead as best we can on Flesh Eaters, because Fangs come out really well and it's performing really well for us online. So far vampires are a win, so much so that we're putting a sci-fi spin on vampires later this year. So
fantastic. And Brian Rodman would like to know, is there a dream project that you'd like to make based on a folk tale or a cryptid? We are big on cryptids here.
Yeah.
The Historical Fencing Guild is Nick Tockard, who's behind that. He is not a cryptid.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there is a now no one else take this idea or we're going to be mad. But
Yeah.
there's never been a film that we're aware of about the Wampus cat, which is a legendary folk tale. Some say
It's kind of big around here.
yeah, and in Native American in heritage, I guess would be the story I know is something about a woman in this Native American tribe is not supposed to be somewhere, and then the men of the tribe turn her into this cat, because she was somewhere she wasn't supposed to be, watching a ritual or whatever. So she hunts her prey and stalks the woods and all this. So we would love to make a Wampus cat movie at some point. So, and if we did, we would be the original Wampus cat film people. So that that could be our claim to fame.
We've kicked the idea around.
Yeah.
I like that. That sounds cool.
Pre-crops have been bought.
Yeah.
Very nice to know.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
And there we go. Brian, teach the licking of the spine with Santastein. Everyone must learn of this. Now they asked me to spare them. I may do it after the show. So we'll see what happens. We'll see how much they like me by the time this is over. And Dan Hollifeld says, Brian, you make me feel better about trying to hawk my music. I'm trying to help around here. I really am. And Sarah says, I never thought it would be so enjoyable to say, well, hello, mother, until this evening. I'm still a little conflicted, but I could adapt to that.
Well, you've got a fan club, Deron.
I've always had a fan club. What are you talking about?
Yes.
Yeah. You see, now I got to say that
He's
Sarah...
come a long way from the crawl space.
That's true.
Rough times, man. Rough times.
I know, man. Your star is...
attic now, if you're curious.
Oh, Mother Star's rising.
It's just moving up in the world. Went from the crawl space to the attic. You got a hell of an attic, man.
Yeah.
Way attic.
Yeah, Sarah, and the aforementioned Christian Basil say that they are trying to get me to blush on this show.
Oh.
No. Well,
Okay. Now you guys know me well enough. If they can actually accomplish that, I have told them they probably will get my every social platform I have canceled on everything. So because that's a high bar.
No, you don't want that.
Yeah, so I couldn't have shows like this or lick more spine, Sarah. So anyway, and Cindy Cap wants to know, what is the most challenging part of filmmaking? We've talked about relative to like setup as opposed to the actual filming and the post-production process. But if there's any one thing that you three find the most challenging about your part of the filmmaking process, what?
Scheduling.
Yeah, scheduling is a bear.
Getting everybody together at the same time or time that works. And
when you've got everybody wants to help, and that part is great. But when you have people who, I work this Saturday, I work next Saturday, I work weeknights, it's difficult. So when you get the days locked in and everybody has agreed and agreed and agreed, it's really important to us that we go along with that schedule that we made up. And time is a big problem there, because you're like, all right, we have the day, you know, we've got this day and 3 more days planned. And then you get to that day and you start getting behind and behind and behind because of weather, or because of
props malfunctioning.
Right, a prop malfunctioning, or you yak a little bit too long and you get started kind of late, or maybe it's a location thing and you've never seen the location before because you just didn't have time. So you're trying to learn your location and work with your people and set up. And the problem is, you get to the end of the day sometimes and you're like, well, there's a lot of stuff we didn't get coverage of today. So I would just say time and scheduling are the biggest. But we're pretty lucky with the people we work with. They're really pretty generous about if they need to come back more to get it done. That's
the big problem is when you got set days and you don't meet your quota that day, is you got these days locked in a month ahead of time or 2 months. Well, now you need to reschedule them for another day. So now, that pickup shoot day is probably going to be a couple months out.
Yeah.
It could be, yeah.
Sometimes that becomes a little difficult.
And really, Cindy, when we schedule these things, I try really, really hard to do back to back weekends, or like a week off and then we're back on, because what happens is people get haircuts, people gain weight, people lose weight. That's the thing. And some people are like chameleons and they come back a month later and they look totally different than what they did before. So it's really important too that it's like, if you have a certain haircut, or that it stays the same. So the quicker we can get it scheduled and closer together in time, the easier it is. So I would say, out of everything, even despite super hot, sweaty days and sub-zero temperatures years ago on a film shoot we did, that is the hardest part, is time, is just trying to manage that time. So
yeah, that's incredible. And Cindy Kemp also wants to know, what's the most fun part of filmmaking?
When it's done.
Yeah. Driving around in the car location, scouting with a cup of coffee.
I think when it's done, and when you
Pre-production, we're really inspired at the beginning when we're really thinking about
but I think when it's done, and my favorite part is when we sit down and at Ian's house and watch the finished film. And we've spent 3 months on this film from start to finish, or whatever it is, the amount of time, and we sit back and watch it. And I feel like we just, I think sometimes we surprise ourselves. It's like, wow, that really turned out great. With budget and scheduling and weather and everything, and you get done and you say, wow, this may be the best one we've ever done. And it's my favorite part is watching the finished product. I love acting and doing the props and being on set and creating. I'm all about creating, but the finished product, watching it, is my favorite part.
See, I to piggyback on what James says, it's kind of like when you order something on Amazon or eBay or a store, that you like and you're excited about it. And then I seem to enjoy it more when I click the button and when I'm waiting on it. And then when I open it, it's like my excitement's still there, but it's like I had more fun almost in the anticipation. And I think when James said, like in the pre-production, a lot of times I agree. My favorite part too is that when the creative juices get flowing, it's like, my God, what could we do this time? It would be so cool, And I think a lot of times by the end of it, and I think it's different, because a lot of times the end of the movie is that final round of editing and fixing mistakes. And that's me by myself at the computer for days and days. So by the time a lot of these get done, I'm like, dear God, can we just not be done with this movie? But at the beginning, I don't feel that way. I'm pumped. And then once it's done, I'm excited again. But I think that end of the road sometimes is rough.
I'm usually pre-production. I'm so damn stressed out that I'm usually drunk most of the time.
Smoking in a corner now.
Drunk most of the time. Can't get me out of his attic because I'm on the sauce heavily and I'm stressed and stuff's not working and the prop's not working, and no, I enjoy all of it.
Cindy, I think too, I know I keep going back to this, but it's going to sound like I'm brown nosing, but I'm really not. the people. If you have a good cast of people on that day who give a damn and they want to be there and they love what we're doing, it is a good day. That's what makes a good film, is when people show up and that they care. And I think that's a bit, when you've got a group that cares, you're having fun, even if things aren't going exactly right. That's that anticipation, like I said, for me, and then the people. That really is, because if it weren't for the cast and crew, there wouldn't be a movie.
Oh,
So
definitely.
True. And so Mother is the goatee OG. Cool. And Cindy Cap says, did you hear that NASA found bones on the moon? The cow didn't make it.
Oh man.
And Sarasota says, I just turned 41 and people think I'm younger as well. That's an awesome compliment most of the time. And Trish Bergstrom, good to see Bergson. I know I'm mispronouncing your name. It's late, Trish, but I'm glad you're here. So where do you get your script? Sorry if you answered already, just creeping in from work. It is self-generated by the gentleman on your left, James Ian Mair. He is the genius behind the scripting there. And Eric Hawkins says, definitely, I can hook them up. I'll see you next month and get you some issues.
Oh,
excellent.
good.
Cool. Awesome.
Cool.
Thanks.
Yeah, I'd love to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a super book. It really is. And hello to Pops Van Sant, and hello to Carl and Carly and everyone else, and Teresa and everybody I didn't say hello to earlier. And they're saying, everyone's saying hello to Pops. See, I told you they'd be say have a different conversation than all of us. And here we go. We're gonna get to something soon. Here we go. And as long as the vampires don't sparkle, I'm into vamps. I have my own lair with a coffin for when the sun rises.
Cool.
And Eric Hawkins says Darren has a little Charlie Sheen thing going. Sounds like
That's weird.
so.
That's weird you say that, because there's an old picture of my dad. My dad's been gone for 20-some years now. He died pretty young, but there's a picture of him where he looks like Emilio Estevez. So I'm being serious about that. There's a picture where he looks like Emilio Estevez. So maybe we're somehow related to the Sheens. I don't know. Or it should say the Estevez. That's the real name.
Hook us up if you are.
Yeah, no kidding. Maybe you can get one of them to work for you. Who knows?
Yeah.
That's right. And Anthony Bevo would like to sleep in a coffin. I have slept in a coffin. It is pretty comfortable. And yes, Mother is turning red. And if Darren's, according to Eric Hawkins, if Darren starts an OnlyFans tonight, I'm sure Sarah and Michaela will join the second it launches. Just
Watch
saying.
out, Micah.
YouTube may be your second funding source then. And Anthony Bevo loves cryptids, and Bigfoot is his favorite. And I'm not sure we should put this on the screen just for a second there. Anyway, Cindy Cap says NASA is currently developing a way to grow cashews on the moon's soil. They're calling them astronuts. Good one, girl. Good one.
That's good.
CKOEPP.com. Check out her website and her book. She's awesome. Molly Daniels, is it safe to say that you have a fan club / groupies in this thread?
Apparently that's news to us, because we're usually shunned by most of the masses. Shun us.
Yeah, blacklisted.
We're blacklisted, and we're the weirdos around here. But that's high praise.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true. The normal people, those are the boring ones. So
they are, yeah.
And yes, there is much love in this chat, says Bob. I agree, Pops Van Sant. Now here we have a very serious question from Sarah, and this is a great one, Sarah. Thank you. What do you guys like to do when you hang out outside of the movies?
We have no lives outside of the movies. No. As far as when we hang out, is that what it says when you?
I mean, I guess you can answer it both ways.
I mean, if we get together outside, it's usually to watch more movies.
Yeah,
It really is.
Yeah, the thing is, though, truthfully, I would say
we really don't like each other at all. No. It's all business, and when we go our separate ways, it's like the hell with you, the hell with you.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I would say honestly, probably 70% at least of the time we spend together is. Even if we're together for 6 hours and you end up just talking for 2 of it or whatever, 3 3 of it. Pretty much most of the time we get together, we're at least working on something, whether it's just building a prop or location scouting.
And then and then when we do have non-movie time, it's usually we're going to the theater to watch a movie.
Right.
That's really
Yeah.
It's all about movies. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just
Yeah. If movies didn't exist, honestly, I don't even know what I would talk about. I don't think I would speak. I would become a monk. Yeah.
Well, it's that leads to the question I have now. Now I happen to know that you guys have other gigs other than the movies. This is a side thing. Do you think you'd have as much fun if it became your regular day gig, your day job? Do you think you'd enjoy it as much?
yes.
I would love going to work. I mean, I think though the pressures would be different. What's good about what we do is calling the shots on our own. If you would work for somebody else and sort of it'd be dictated to you what it was you were going to make, or you had to have it done by this exact time, I think that some of those types of things would be more stressful. But if you could wake up every morning and get paid to do this, it would be wonderful. I mean, it would,
We're kind of like a band, we'd like to do our own original material.
Yeah.
We like to produce and write and do our own original work. I mean, that's.
Yeah, I alluded to that, Brian. I think before the show started, I'm too. I would have a hard time having the shots called by somebody else.
Trust me, we've known. We've
Yeah.
tried. And we've been reprimanded.
I crack that whip on set. By God, no.
Oh, I know. I still treasure the scars from my experiences.
And keep it handy. So. Yeah.
And don't mention whips to this crowd. That could keep us here for another 20 minutes. But anyway, we've got someone here. I know Rebecca Elder says hi, guys.
Becky.
Hey.
Hi, Becky.
Hey.
Becky is a super fan. I've known Becky for a long time. These guys have known her for a few years now. Becky's great. She's a big fan, a big supporter.
Yeah.
She comes to all of our premieres. She buys all of our DVDs. She buys our shirts.
She stars in.
She's been in
several of the films.
4 of our films now,
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah.
And so we're glad she's here, and we're glad she supports us. And
So we got Becky and Vicky tonight.
there you go.
Yes, we got two of our
People.
our great fellow Moonlight Films folks here in the crowd.
Yeah.
So cool. Thank you both.
Thanks, Becky.
Yeah, glad to see you here. And Vicky says, yeah, Ian's a taskmaster.
Well, poor Vicky. Both of the last 2 days she's filmed with us, my God, we've had so many setbacks, and I think I've wrote her both times. Like, I swear the sets aren't always like this, because both days she's wonderful, and she's walked into days where things have kind of backfired on us with props and things. And bless her heart, she's a trooper. She stuck with us. So.
Well, you've got good people. I mean, I've been to 2 of the premieres, and I've gotten to know some of the folks that you work with, and you have some great people working for you. You really do.
We're very, very lucky.
Yeah. Sarah says Normal is overrated. I tell people if you want to go to Normal, go north of Bloomington, Illinois. Look it up on a map. I'm not kidding. And guys, this is what happens when you're on Clever Title Pending. You get hooked up with others with various strengths. And Anthony Beveau goes, I love Clever Title Pending. The show rocks, as does Brian. Well, enough of that. And the guys at Moonlight Films. That's why I asked them here, because I wanted them here. And Sarah asks, I'm sorry?
Oh, I just said thank you to Anthony.
Oh, okay, good. That way I don't have to. Anyway, no, thank you, Anthony. Sarah asks, do you go to conventions, or did pre-COVID you go to conventions to promote your work? How did you get the word out other than being online? And Sarah, that's an excellent question. That's where I met the gang at.
That's right.
We met at PwacCon, I think it was.
Yeah. Shout out to Mike K-Singer, my old buddy. I've known Mike for, I don't know, 25 years or something, and he's one hell of an artist.
Yep.
He's one of my favorite artists, and Mike did those shows, and we met you, Brian, at the show, we networked, we met other people, and so we've done a few shows, but COVID has really, I mean, we hope to do more. We hope to have a booth somewhere at a horror con somewhere down the road, and so we have done a few. Yeah, I mean,
That's cool.
Online is our big thing. And Lloyd, circling back to Lloyd Kaufman, he told us that. He said, boys, the future of this is online, and he was, and as he took stuff out of his pockets and handed James and I memorabilia, and he told us, he said, the future of what we do with independent film, it's online. DVDs and Blu-rays are great. There's still a crowd for it, but
Streaming is where it's going.
but streaming, don't like it. I don't think any of us do that because, if I can't hold a film in my hand, even if I could watch it every day until the end of time on my computer, I don't own it if I can't hold the thing. But at the same time, it's like Lloyd had a good point that online is where this is going. But I think conventions are great for networking and meeting new people. So,
yeah. Well, Lloyd's very right, and that's one of the things. You've touched on a couple aspects that we talk about frequently on all of my shows, in that, the technology makes it available. The technology is available, rather, that we can present our work to people. And there are all kinds of advantages to having your hand on the rudder of your career. Now, there's nothing wrong with working for someone else, and that's all cool. But being in charge of your own creative destiny.
Yeah.
For a lot of us, is where it's at. So
the problem with online, I think now, is that it makes it a lot easier, and consumer level video equipment is getting better and better by the day, and so our competition is revving up. Some of the guys that do shot on video horror, Mark Polonia, Tim Ritter, these guys, back when they really started a lot of this, they pioneered a lot of these techniques, and they didn't have that competition, so they really carved a place in kind of a niche market for it. Now we have a lot of competition, because on YouTube you're competing with.
We do have a lot of competition, but we are the kings,
which is true,
of micro budget horror. Remember that,
exactly.
Boys and girls.
Yeah,
Kings.
That's right. It says so on their website, so it's true.
That's right.
It does.
Yeah. See,
we're not shy.
Yeah. No. And actually, that's an excellent point. That, do you find that the competition help, aside from having a minimal budget, do you think the competition also helps keep you sharp?
Yeah. I mean, I guess back to that point I made earlier about the other indie horror films, I think, one really good tool is looking to see what they're capable of doing, and then also looking at what you pull off maybe a little bit better given a similar budget. Because Deron, we talk about this a lot. It's like, well, we have similar budget to this group over here, but it's like, wow, we really excel in this particular part of that process. So I probably got off topic, Brian, with your question. I'm not sure what day it is.
I'm the wrong person to ask. I have no what day it is for last year. And most welcome, guys, and Brian. Thank you, Anthony. And Sarah makes a good point. I've tried to get these guys to Silcon. Unfortunately, Silcon's not operating right now in Mattoon, Illinois, which is not very far from you guys, really. Lots of horror, lots of connections, lots of horror film people. Yes. And
and
let's
see if it gets going again.
Hope so. I want to get big enough I can sponsor you guys. And Sarah, ears perked at BKM's mentioning of whips. Moving on to Brian Rodman. Guys, I subscribe to the channel on YouTube and will be watching Fangs tonight. I love indie horror. Are you? All right. Yeah, thank you very much, Brian. Appreciate it. Are you familiar? He loves indie horror. And are you familiar with his buddy Nathan Thomas Milliner's work at Rebel Rouser?
No, I've never. I'm assuming Rebel Rouser is his company.
I would think so.
Okay, yeah, I'll look him up definitely. Anything indie horror, I love to take a look at. And Brian, if you're on YouTube watching Fangs, a great double feature, second feature to Fangs is Blood Cove. make sure you check out the Skull. High marks, I think, for that movie. So.
Seriously. Yeah, definitely. And Molly Daniels is Indie Comic Con. Very cool. And Pops Van Zandt, Comics Talk with Pops Van Zandt, says, Brian, tell these guys about CromCon. I have a spot reserved for them in April, right, by Brian Polito. Brian Polito has done a comic for the last, 30 years called Lady Death. Very nice comic book.
And Evil Ernie as well. Was it Evil Ernie?
Thank you. Yeah, Evil Ernie. That's right. Yeah. And CromCon is a monthly online convention. You guys might want to reach out to Pops Van Zandt. He has a lot of creative people.
Okay, thank you, Pops.
Yeah, thank you, Pops, very much. You guys, definitely, Pops, get in touch with these guys. If you need help, Pops, let me know. I'll get a hold of them. But y'all can get a hold of these guys at moonlight-films.com for all your film needs. You can also order physical copies of their films, so please check it out. No, says Molly. Anyway,
no.
Whatever. And Cindy Kempson asks, how did Luke Skywalker get around the forest moon of Endor? He walked. Oh. And Pops Van Zandt says, I will book them. There we go.
Pop, yeah, let us know what we need to do for that.
That's an online con, right?
Yes, it is. It's usually runs Friday through the last Friday through Sunday of every month. So it's a monthly convention.
If I know we have a lot of film shoots upcoming, but hopefully we can work in there at some point. I know because for the next, starting toward the end of April, we're going to be, or middle April even, we're going to be pretty booked out that part of the weekend. So but just get a hold of us, definitely.
Yeah, seriously, Pops. Thank you very much. And Pops, if you need help, like I said, let me know and I will do what I can to get you guys together. Oh, and here's what Molly meant. Non-con in September. It's in, let me find I've got my notes here. I have my notes. I really do. Let me check. It is September 24th, 25th, and 26th at the Poasttown Elementary School in Middletown, Ohio, which is not horribly far again. It's like probably about 2 or 3 hours from you guys. It's a little north of Cincinnati, so it's not that far away.
Okay.
And the thing is, the elementary school is a legit haunted school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because there's creepy crap happening there. I can attest to that. But the thing is also, bring your cameras, guys. I'm serious. And also the tables are free.
Oh,
and
we like free. Yeah.
Yeah, I tell people that's my second favorite F word because I love fire trucks. Anyway, but we can talk. I can get you in touch with the guys. We can talk about it. And Sarah was confused too because she's going yes. And Vicky Cox Bow, is it Bow or Bow? What I'm afraid to pronounce that. Which
Vicky
I know
Boo?
Boo. Okay, I knew if there were 3 ways to do it, I'd pick the 2 that weren't right. Anyway, Vicky Cox Boo, glad to meet you here. Would you ever consider doing something in the line of comedic horror, something like Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein, or the likes of Young's Frankenstein? You mentioned comedy as a possibility. Could you see yourself doing a horror comedy?
Yeah, I would love to do something like Abbott and Costello if we had the right. I think comedy's hard. I think horror comedy would maybe be a little more in our wheelhouse to pull off. But yeah, I mean, like, I don't know, Vicky, if you heard the early part of the show, Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein is what inspired me to make movies to start with. So if I could pull off something even a fraction as good as that was, I would be thrilled.
We've done sort of the camp thing though.
Yeah.
I mean, the segment we were talking about earlier, the Duel tribute, is really a comically based horror story. I mean, it's over the top and silly, and the guy is silly, and I mean, so it's sort of has that comedy, and we've done a little bit of that. I mean, not a straight horror comedy, but we've had elements of camp, and
I think we're getting better at not taking the subject matter as serious. And Brian, that's one thing that I think Demoniac, visually, I think it's a beautifully shot movie.
It is.
But I think Demoniac loses points because it's so darn serious throughout the whole. We needed some levity, and see in that opening scene, we had that levity with you singing, and But where did that go after the first 6 minutes? Like we needed a little bit more throughout the film, and it was just so heavy. And I think that's why, even with Maker of Monsters, there's a little bit of humor, and then in Blood Cove, especially Blood Cove 2, with Lloyd back again. And then of course the scenes Vicky's in there. There's a little bit of humor there in those two, and I think we're getting better at, I wouldn't say laughing at ourselves, but not getting so dramatic with everything. So I don't know what that is.
Yeah, what?
I was plugged in.
It is. It starts up there. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. What's up,
Brian,
guys?
We have 8% battery. It's flashing on our screen. I don't know.
Okay, well then we will get through.
I'm not sure what's going on.
We're plugged in, so
We ought to be okay.
Okay, well we're almost at the end. We're almost at the end.
I was just telling you because it flashed across them. We're all looking at it, you know. So.
Don't tell Sarah something's flashing you right now. Otherwise, we'll be here for another hour. We love you, Sarah. We really do. And Vicky Bo says that's why I ask. Love those shows.
Oh yeah, classics.
Yeah, seriously. Well, like I said, I watched Frank, Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein when I was younger, and it was okay. And then when I watched it like about 2 years ago, it was simply because I got like a collection of films and stuff. I really learned to appreciate how they mixed the comedic elements with the horror. I mean, there was serious stuff going on. There were serious consequences to what was going on in the main plot of the film, but you had all these jokes that fit right in, and the monsters they didn't take the piss out of the monsters. They treated them like serious entities, seriously dangerous creatures. And I agree with you. That is a super movie. And Molly Daniels says, typing on her Kindle, she stupidly traveled without laptop, and one-armed author. Yes, I will give the one-armed author some slack, I promise. And Pops Van Zandt says, Brian, I can put them in the final panel this Sunday at 10 p.m. Eastern. CromCon is calling. Meet the challenge. Yes, definitely.
Okay. So we'll have to send me the information, because one, I will forget, and two, I'm not sure. I don't know if anything's going on, but we want to make sure that we can be there before committing.
Definitely. I'll put you guys together. How's that?
Okay,
I'll help you.
Perfect.
And Sarah, I love of you too, hun. Thank you for being here, sweetheart. We love you. And actually this works out because we are almost at 2 hours. So we're going to get you. We're going to get you out of here on time.
Went by fast, didn't it?
I know, doesn't it though? Everyone tells me that. And look in the Moonlight Films inbox.
Okay.
Says Pops Van Zandt. Thanks, Pops. You're the best, dude. You guys will have fun on there too. But anyway, thank you to everyone watching with your incredible questions, and thank you to everyone who signed up for the Deron Morgan OnlyFans page.
fan club.
And the fan club there.
Brian, I want to give a shout out to Jim O'Rear.
Yeah.
Jim
yes, I was going to ask about Jim. Yes.
Jim has been a supporter of ours from a long way back. He's been in several of our movies. He's in Fangs.
Yeah.
With me, I have some scenes with him in Fangs, and
He's a great actor to work with.
he's fun. He's very
great.
supportive. He's given us a lot of advice over the years. So I just want to say hi to Jim, and thanks for all the support.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, I was going to bring him up because I think it was not the first year we were at the PwatCon, but the second year we were with each
he was
other.
there.
He was there, yeah, and I got to meet him. What a great guy. He's serious.
He was a huge part of Graveyard Stories, and then in Demoniac, he on his way to a con, he come way early and went out of his way to make that work to be in that film.
He was on the way to the con.
Jim's wonderful, and hopefully, if he's listening, he'll check his inbox pretty soon, because I have some stuff to send him to about more films we're working on. So
beautiful. Molly Daniels says she picked a good night to play hooky from work. Fortunately, I speak autocorrect. And Sarah says, great show. Mwah. Thank you for helping make it that way. Cindy Kemp says, thanks for hosting the adventure. Great fun had by all. And I think we're going to let Sarah have the, and yes, she's a one-handed typist right now. Shut up, Christian. So Molly's trying to handle working under a handicap, and Sarah gets the last purr of the night.
Well, the only way to end it, yeah.
Exactly. Well, actually, the only way to end this, guys, is to thank you all very much for being here, my friends. It is so great to catch up with you guys again. And we have Chris McNasty saying, I missed my grandmother's 98th birthday for this guy. So glad to be here. We're glad you're here. And this was great.
Yeah. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you very much, Chris. I appreciate that. And I appreciate
you. A hug.
That's right. Give Grandma a hug from all of us, and especially inappropriate ones. But anyway, thank you guys for being here. It's a pleasure catching up with you guys. It's been too long.
Well, hey, Brian, thank you very, very much for inviting us. Invite us anytime. So,
well, I plan to. You're part of the family now, so you can't get away. And I'm sure I'd hear from Sarah if we didn't have you back. So anyway, I'm going to give you the spotlight once again. And please tell everyone where they can keep up with you guys and what you've got going, etc. And we've got one more comment from Vicky Boo. Enjoyed the hell out of tonight. Thank you, Vicky.
Oh, thank you, Vicky. Thank you for being here. Thanks for all your support.
Yeah, thank you for being here, and glad to have you. Hope you make us a habit here. But anyway, guys, tell everybody how they can keep up with you and what you got going and all.
The big three: YouTube, Facebook, and our Moonlight Films website. Definitely go to YouTube if you watch any of the films. Please watch the ads. That will help with our accumulation of revenue. I know it's annoying, but that's really how we keep going. Also, if you visit the Moonlight,
comment helps some AdSense.
Yeah. Comment, please like and comment and subscribe. Go to our website and find our Kanaki DVD page where you can purchase all of our films on DVD and just keep supporting. Share our stuff on Facebook. Share our YouTube videos. Anything like that will really help. So we always appreciate the support and the chance to be on this show has been great. So thank you very much, Brian.
Thank you.
I also want to say, if you guys do streaming, we're on a Roku channel now.
Oh yeah,
Fearflix,
the big four. Forgot the
Fearflix. So
yeah.
if you do Roku, go to Fearflix.
Yeah.
And we're on there. There's several of our films, and
$6.99 for the whole year. Tim Wall is amazing. He connected with me a while back, got several of our films in there. I almost forgot Fearflix.
Yeah.
So we're on Roku, and yeah.
Wow.
I have an 8-month-old, so my brain is
it's a great channel to subscribe to if you're into horror films.
and I'm drunk most of the time, so I can't
focus.
Oh my God. Well,
we're everywhere.
Yeah.
Check us out.
It sounds like, man, I'm proud of you guys. Well done, gentlemen. And again, thank you guys for being here. I sincerely appreciate you. And please stick around. I'm going to take over the show for a minute. We got a couple things to do, little bits of business, but I want to say goodnight to you properly, okay?
Okay.
Right, thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
All right. Thank you.
Joining in.
Yeah, thank you, one and all. So I'm going to mute you, and I'm going to take over the screen here. Definitely, folks, check out moonlight-films.com and check out the work of James Ian Mair and James Stevenson and Deron Morgan. They do all kinds of great stuff, and I'm so very proud of these guys, proud to know them. And thank you all for your incredible questions. So please check out moonlight-films.com for all your film needs. You can order physical copies there. You also do a search on YouTube and check out their channel. You can run their films on your whatever device you want, and believe me, it helps them. Please subscribe to their YouTube channel. Let's see that get some love if we could. And Sarah agrees. Proud of your successes. Nice. Thank you, Sarah, for everything, and thank you, Anthony, for being here also. And we've got a few bits of business here. Thank you all for being here. And yes, Sarah, I will teach them all about spine licking, whether they want to or not. But anyway, thank you all for being here, guys and gals. Appreciate your great questions. Thank you for your participation as always. And next week, we actually have 2 episodes of Clever Title Pending happening next week. Monday night, we're going to have the great John Celestri. He's a former animator for Don Bluth Studios. He did a lot of great work with classic animator there. And he's currently got a comic book that's coming out called Michael the Bloodwing Angel. He's a great cartoonist, great illustrator and writer, and we're going to talk about his incredible animation career and what he's got going right now. The Kickstarter is in its last week or so of operation. Please do a look up for John Celestri. And then on Tuesday night, we're going to have a frequent friend of ours who's in our comment section, the one and the only Joe D. McPhee from the desk of a small press publisher. He'll be joining us on Tuesday evening, and we're going to talk about his great comic book, Amazonia, his great interviews. Please sign up for his YouTube channel, From the Desk of a Small Press Publisher. And we got some great guests coming up in the month of April, too. And if you subscribe to our monthly newsletter, which is free, by the way, at risingtide.pub, or send me a message via Facebook Messenger with your email address. I promise you'll get no spam because of us. But anyway, please sign up for that. Also, please go to our YouTube page. And if you enjoyed this video at all, please smash that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel if you would. And be sure to set up your notifications so you get word on everything we've got going. Not only that, but we've also, thank you to everyone who's watching us on Facebook right now. Again, please give this video a like if you would, and please give a like to the page that's hosting us as a thank you. And we want to say a thank you also to Plasma Fire Graphics. When the look of your book matters to you, it matters to your readers. So get in touch with Jeffrey Hayes at Plasma Fire Graphics. They've got a Facebook page as well, but plasmafiregraphics.com. Thank you for your sponsorship of tonight's episode. And this show has been powered by the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. Please take a screenshot of this because we've got 7-day-a-week coverage. We've got a variety of great shows that provide super content, entertainment, and information for you, and on a variety of subjects. So please check out what we've got going. The next show we have is tomorrow morning. It's Never Mind the Furthermore with me. Please join me then at 10 a.m., 9 a.m. Central. And also, we've got our Patreon subscribers to thank. Please consider joining us on Patreon, where even with just $1 every month, it makes me happy. It helps a lot. And also you get some good stuff like your name mentioned in our broadcast. So please check us out at www.patreon.com/Brian K. Morris. And I think that's everything. So again, thank you one and all for being here. We appreciate you as always. And as we always tell you, folks, please join us next week for John Celestri and Joe D. McPhee from the desk of a small press publisher. Please join us tomorrow for Never Mind the Furthermore. And Thursday nights, I will be on with the aforementioned Eric Hawkins and Clyde Hall and Brian Rodman for Comic Book Spectrum, where we'll talk about comics. We've got a great subject we're going to be discussing this week. Please join us at 7 p.m., 6 p.m. Central. So as always, folks, thank you for being here on the March 23rd edition of Clever Title Pending. Hope you enjoyed it. And as always, folks, stay smart, stay safe, wash your hands, never apologize for being awesome. Thank you for being here on Clever Title Pending. We'll see you soon.
From author Brian K. Morris comes a tale of irreverent holiday horror, told with much inappropriate humor. Dr. Victor Frankenstein creates the spirit of giving himself. Ho, ho, ho! Santastein, or the post-holiday Prometheus. Available at Amazon.com. Get your copy today.